I totally remember it, and we were like, hey, let's make a state run. Right on, prima donna. You know what? We're hammered. Let the girls drive. This is perfect. This is perfect. Girls are driving. We're in the back seat. Me, Jim. Yeah. We might be doing things we're not supposed to be doing. That's okay. We're climbing the hill, and I look at Jim. Windows are rolled up. I'm like, dude, that's fucking terrible. And we can't say fuck? It's terrible. Oh my God. He goes, dude, that's not me. Jim goes, Shane, I swear to God, that is I'm like, it wasn't me. And someone's got the reddest face like they do right now. And they're driving. What? And she won't roll the windows down. Hot box us all the way to the prima donna. Oh.
No, that wasn't me.
It was you. Oh, man. All right. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
There was a time I went with the Poultons, and the Poultons got a new boat. Okay, so they invited me out there to go skiing one time. So I went skiing with them, or I went out there to go skiing with them, I should say. So the boat had a problem, the boat, and that kind of stuff. So they took it to the maintenance shop and that kind of stuff, and they said, fix this boat, or what have you. So they dropped the boat off. We came in the next day, said, is our boat fixed yet? They said, no, you got to give us about an hour and a half. We'll have the boat fixed. That kind of stuff. Sharon goes, I'm going to wait. She pulls a book out and waits to get her boat fixed. Okay, so me and Jim are, doing what we do, go look at boats and what have you and so forth. The guy comes back to us about, hour and a half. So, okay, your boat's fixed. Okay, me, Jim, Sharon, we walk out and goes, well, here it is. Jim and Sharon look at the guy and goes, that's not our freaking boat. He's like, what? This is not our boat. You didn't fix our boat. We've been waiting an hour and a half for a boat, which you didn't even fix. So we go, which boat's yours? So we walk over, it's right there, like that. Okay, give us another 45 minutes. He goes, when we take this boat out, every time we give it gas, it stalls. He goes, okay, we'll check the computer, we'll check the thing, make sure it's all cool, like that. So we wait another 45 minutes, like kind of stuff. Boat's good. And Jim looks at Sharon and looks at the guy, goes, the boat's good. He goes, the boat's good. He goes, I drove out from California to go skiing. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to ski, right? He goes, we're going to ski. We launched the boat, take it out. We're cruising out. Catherine's Landing's all good and that kind of stuff. We get out to the bay. Boom. He tries it again. Boom. Thing just stalls right on top of us. Like, we look at each other. We look at him and goes, well, what do you want to do now? He goes, Sharon looks at Jim and goes, let's go gambling. That was it. And we turned around and came back, and that was it.
My funny stories with Jim was about every time we went fishing. We usually always sunk a boat, almost sunk a boat. We dented his brand new boat one time. We were never clothing ready for any type of weather that we would fish in. Usually we were in shorts and flip-flops and it was 20 degrees outside. Every time we went fishing, that's how it was. Every time we went riding at the river, that's how it was. A 5-hour ride usually ended up being 12 hours long because we ended up someplace that we weren't supposed to be. That's what I have for now. I just want to say I love you, Jim, and I miss you very much.
Jim was my car buddy. We used to go to all the car shows. Even when he's sick, go out in the scooter and we'd drive around, we'd push him around, and just had a lot of good times. Breaking down on the road, fixing the cars. We go way back to the pool. Did a lot of pools, and we're in the pool business together. So a lot of good times with Jim, and I'm going to miss him a lot.
Been a friend of Jim's for a long time. Years ago, we used to golf together. There was Shane and Jim and myself, and we were in a group, and we golfed once a month in a club, and we would go. Well, one time, Jim we're at the putting green, and we're putting, and I take his driver out of his bag, and I put the driver in my bag. And now Jim's left-handed. So we get up to the first tee box, and everybody's grabbing their drivers, and they're all getting ready to tee, and I got his driver in my hand, and we're swinging, and I'm swinging it left-handed, and he doesn't have a clue what's going on. And then all of a sudden he's like, where the hell's my bat or my club? My driver's gone. And we're like, are you kidding me? He goes, no, I had it when I got here. It's gone. And I'm like, Jim, I don't know what happened to that club. And he's like, God darn it. He goes, I know who took it. There's another lefty down there, and I bet he took my club. I'm going to go down there, and I'm just trying to keep a straight face, and I got his club, and I'm just swinging it. And all of a sudden he looks and goes, wait a minute. You asshole, that's my club. And he got his club back. So, but it was pretty funny. He was pretty like ticked off at a guy that had nothing to do with it. So we used to pull pranks on each other all the time. So miss you, Jim.
Okay, Jim, we miss you. The best story I have of Jim is right after his surgery when he got all of his organs and everything was transplanted into him. He went on a boat of ours that we owned at the time, and it was a chaparral. And it was really rough. We were in the river, and we're at the lake, and it was really rough.
Is this the one that broke down?
Well, there were several times.
Okay,
But we'll go to the other one. Okay, but we're on the lake, and Jim says, I think I just felt my organs move. Oh my God, I was scared to death. I thought there's no way in hell I'm gonna get Jim another pancreas and whatever else he got transplanted into him. So Brian, you need to go get a boat that we can take our friends on that won't kill them. So please make sure. But Jim was such a trooper. He went through all of that. After that surgery, we went on a cruise with Sharon and Jim, and he said he was gonna get off that boat and not be on a wheelchair anymore. Sorry, now I'm gonna get upset, but okay.
All right.
But he said I'm gonna walk off this boat, and I'll be damned if he didn't. He did that, and Jim was the best at telling me he was going to do something, and he did it. He was the strongest man I know. We all love him. We all miss him. We all feel him. Anytime anybody hits anything as a jackpot, I'm like, Jim helped you. So, Jim, we love you. We miss you. Sharon, we love you. We miss you like crazy. Everybody here, we miss you. So let's all get together, celebrate Jim some more.
I've known Jim for, 25 years. We started bowling on Tuesdays. That's how we met. Anything I've ever asked for Jim, monetary, which I was broke at the time, he lent me. He lent me the money to buy my wife's engagement ring. And for that, I've always been very thankful. I've paid him back, and I've told him that I loved him, and I still do. And that's it. Just one of the most generous men that I've ever met. And Jim, I will see you one day up in heaven. I love you.
I've known Jim for quite a little while. The first time I ever met Jim, we were building his garage, and he had the dimensions of his garage and everything ready to go, and we built it, and everything turned out really good. And come to find out that when he measured the garage, he measured it on the wrong truck. So the truck and the boat didn't fit in the garage like he had planned on to eventually do that. So I knew it was going to be just a great time, and I just had beautiful memories of Jim, and I love you, Jim. Thanks.
The occasion is sad, but it's a wonderful evening. But then Jim and Sharon always did have a wonderful party. Whatever they did was always fun. I'm looking around and seeing all the usual people here, and I keep finding myself looking around for Jim. But it's just wonderful that we could all get together and see familiar faces, and it's so nice to see Sharon and see that she's doing so well, see Jim's family and everything. So just so glad we could come out and share this weekend with you guys. And all miss Jim together. So again, thank you for inviting us and making us part of this wonderful weekend.
Longtime friend of Jim's. Miss him, love him, and we know how that goes. I'm going to cry. Okay. So, story of Jim snoring is unbelievable. We're at their house in Laughlin, Bullhead area, and wife and I are in the spare room, and Jim is on the couch sleeping, watching a movie on full blast, military war movie, which I don't even know how he's sleeping through. And then his snoring is actually 10 times louder than the movie. And wife and I are in bed at 3 in the morning, bug-eyed, like, what is happening here? We're not ever going to sleep tonight. This is crazy. So I decided to go out there. I turn the TV down all the way, but the snoring doesn't stop. And then I look across the room, not even 10 feet away. There's Sharon, peacefully sleeping through everything, and we're sitting here pulling our hairs out like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We can't sleep. Literally, I don't even think we slept a wink that night. But yeah, so Jim has a snoring issue, and Sharon sleeps like a mummy, and that was it.
First time I met Jim, I was 21 years old here at the MGM Grand. There's a big group of us guys. We're at the Progressive Draw Poker machine and Progressive Pot, of course. And anyway, being 21 years old, I had absolutely no money. So I'm sitting there standing behind Kevin McCarthy and Jim. And ironically, one by one, the guys are getting off the machine because everybody's out of money at that point. So Jim is one of the last ones left. I happen to hop into his chair with the last $100 bill that I have. And at this time, again, 21 years old, have absolutely no money. I'm sitting there playing for about 5 minutes. Before you know it, I actually hit the royal flush for the $6,200. And at that point, he was cursing me up one side and down the other because he just got out of that chair and I hit the grand jackpot there. So that was pretty exciting at 21 years old. So thanks to Jim, I have now been ruined when it comes to gambling.
Hey, James, I got 1,000 stories about you.
You still owe me $50.
Yeah, you owe me $50. You know, James, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be friends with you and keeping our relationship up for about 40 years. I would like to tell some of the stories, but some of the other people might not enjoy them. Getting kicked out of bowling alleys, Mexico, all that kind of good stuff. But I'll see you on the other side, and we'll play some golf, James. Thank you.
So I don't really have a funny story to tell about Jim, but I do have a story to tell that touches my heart because it kind of showcases to me what kind of person Jim was. And one day he was at our house, and when he was leaving, our neighbor's dog ran out and was running across the street, and Jim thought he had run the dog over. And the dog actually went under his car, but then it came out and it went into the house. And Jim was devastated. He was so devastated because he just couldn't imagine hurting an animal because he was such an animal lover. And the lady who owned the dog took the dog to the vet, and the dog was fine. And Jim called that evening, again the next day, again the day after, just to make sure that the dog was okay. And it just meant so much to me because I'm such an animal lover that he cared so much and his heart was so soft. So that's what I remember about Jim, and that's the story that I love to remember about Jim.
Hey, Jim and Sharon, thank you guys so much for all of your kindness, your generosity. And Jim, we're going to miss you so very, very much. And we're all going to take good care of Sharon for you.
Thank you, buddy, for everything you helped me. And you're a great friend and a great boss. And I want to have in my memory for my life. Thank you for everything you did to me. Thanks.
James was my cousin, but more like a brother. He was always there for me, and that's all that matters. Always there for me. And more so emotionally than anything. That's why he was more like a brother. I love you, Jimmy.
A couple things about Jim. Just had to remember a lot of good times with him growing up when we had our Volkswagen Bugs and going to car shows and playing baseball. And he was just a really great guy, would do anything for anybody. And the times we had together were really special, and truly miss him.
And I always called him James instead of Jim. Was when he was about 12, had a paper route, and he had something he wanted to do instead of delivering his papers that day. So I believe he threw the papers away, and then he cut the phone line so the customers couldn't call us or call him and find out what was going on with their newspaper. Later in the day, I was outside in the driveway, and I see this wire hanging down from the house and realize he cut the line. I had a lot of laughs about it later, and he learned a lesson from that. But he always learned a lesson, and he was really a good person.
I want to wish everyone a well night, and thank you for everything, Sharon. And James was the best person ever. Even though I was younger than James, after I spilled my drink, I gave James a lot of heartache. We love him, and God bless him. May he rest in peace, and God bless everybody here tonight.
Miss you, man. And all the times playing soccer, all the river trips. Wish you were still around, James. I do miss you.